What annoys me about working class parents is this, yeah? So a lot of working class parents, when their children get to a certain age, 18 or 22, when they start working, like, you're earning X amount of money now I need £500 from you. 1 second. The whole reason why they're charging their children £500, because these parents initially didn't do the right work and preparation, their kids were a burden on them. On no mortgage application will they ever ask you for your skin colour. You don't own no block. The local government or local council will move your mum to Milton Keynes or Northampton, so you don't own nothing. Yeah, you can fight over this postcode all you want. Yeah. By the end of the day, if the government decides to evict your mum, you're no longer a part of that estate.
Hello and welcome to another powerful episode of GloTalks, where we engage in thought-provoking conversations with individuals who have transformed their lives against all odds. Today we have the honour of speaking with Jelani Knight, widely known as Jay Wise, a man whose journey from adversity to success exemplifies resilience, discipline, and the power of self-belief. Jay Wise made a courageous decision to rewrite his story. Today, he is a successful entrepreneur, property investor, mentor, and author of Conquering Adversity, a book that details his extraordinary path to success. In this episode, we'll explore the mindset shifts that enabled him to build a legacy through business and property investment. At 15, he earned a black belt in Taekwondo, but discipline alone wasn't enough to keep him from going down a dangerous path. By 16, he was arrested, and by the age of 17, he was in a gang. He survived prison, brutal fights, and being stabbed. But instead of becoming another statistic, he made a decision that changed everything. His turning point, an electrical apprenticeship. Stay locked in, because this episode will change the way you think about struggle, success, and self-determination. Let's begin. Hello, Jay Wise. How you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Good.
No problem. Thanks for coming down. How's your journey down here?
Yeah, it was all right. Just straight down the A46. Took me about 30 minutes. And that, so.
Now, I've seen that you're a property investor. You invest in property. Yeah. So to begin today's episode, how do you feel about doing a true or false game on property?
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah? So here's the first question for you. True or false? You need a lot of money to start investing in property.
False.
Why is it false?
Because I started with 13,600 when I bought my first property. So that's not a lot of money.
Okay, the answer is false. Many start with little to no money through creative financing, house hacking, or joint ventures. Give you another one. People who stay broke in the UK just don't work hard enough.
Yeah, true.
True? Why do you say it's true?
Because I come from a poor, humble beginning. And I've put in the work and I've got money now. So. Okay,
the answer here says false. The system is designed to keep people in cycles of debt and survival mode. What do you think about that answer?
Well, that's absolutely wrong. No way.
So you think...
You can break the cycle. Yeah. So your origins is not going to be your destination.
Yeah.
So your path is not written.
Yeah.
If it's written in pencil.
Yeah.
So you can break the cycle and you control your destiny.
So don't you think that also that there might be a system there that doesn't want you to break from the hardships of life?
There might be a system, but I'm going to go against the grain. So it can be there. Yeah. I'll do my best to break out of that cycle and that system. So.
I'll ask you two more questions. If the housing market crashes, you'll lose everything.
False.
Why do you say that?
So what I've planned to do is, because I've got 4 buy-to-let properties, before the end of the term, so the terms are basically 25 years, before the end of the term, I will sell those properties. Yeah. So that if unfortunately there is a housing crash, I've already sold them before they've dipped so much in value that if I do have to sell them or pay back the remaining balance, I've already got enough money to do so.
The answer here says false, so it agrees with you. And it says false. If you invest wisely and hold long-term, crashes are just cycles. Yeah. Would you agree to that, yeah?
Yeah.
And last question for you for today is, London is the best place to invest in property. True or false?
If you've got the money, true. Because the capital appreciation is really good.
Yeah.
But the yield isn't that good.
Yeah.
So your property might be worth 500 grand.
Yeah.
But then you're only going to make about, 1,500-1,700 off of it a month in rent. But the capital appreciation is the best. Yeah. I remember in Tottenham there was a road called Lawrence Road. And there used to be like old kind of factory buildings and that. People used to break in there and do like illegal parties. And they knocked the buildings down and they started building flats. Those flats went up so fast in value that when you bought them off plan for, let's say 300 grand, by the time it was finished, it was worth 400.
Really?
Obviously, if you buy it off plan anyway, you're going to get a discount. But because the properties were going up so fast in value, you was actually making money before it was even built.
What do you mean by off plan and on plan? Is there even an on plan?
I don't know if there's an on plan. But yeah. Off plan means it's not even built.
Okay.
So they've given you plans or they've said, well, we're going to be building these 1-bed flats or 2-bed flats. And you actually make the purchase before it's actually...
Okay. It's kind of like just believing in a project.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my questions for today. You done quite well. Yeah, so let's get into it. Jay Wise, tell us about yourself. Tell us where you're from.
So, born and bred Edmonton.
Okay.
Born here. My grandparents are from Jamaica, but my parents were even born here as well. So, third, second generation Jamaican.
Yeah. So you grew up in Edmonton since a baby, basically.
Yeah, basically, yeah. The first flat I ever lived in was in Edmonton. Lived in the same postcode my whole entire life until I moved out.
And what was that like for you growing up in Edmonton?
I mean, it's the best area ever, really.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to live nowhere else. I'm glad I actually grew up in Edmonton.
Really?
So what happened was my mum, she lived in Stamford Hill.
Yeah.
And then she didn't even know this until not too long ago. My grandparents, they wanted to move to Milton Keynes when they were building Milton Keynes up back in the late 70s, early 80s. But they decided to go to Bushel Park. So my mum grew up there and then she moved to Edmonton and then she had me. So when she initially had me, obviously I was born in North Middlesex Hospital. I think I went to my grandma's house in Bushel Park for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And then went straight to a flat block in Edmonton that don't exist no more.
So growing up as a young boy in Edmonton, was your dad around?
Nah.
So it was just you and your mum?
Nah, so I actually had a stepfather. He's still there now.
Okay.
He's been there since I was 1.
Okay.
So if they wanted to, they could have lied and said that he was my dad. Because my earliest memories was always him being there.
Okay.
So yeah, my dad wasn't in my life. I know his name, I know what he looks like and that, but he just wasn't in my life. So my stepfather's been there from day one, basically.
Are you the only child?
Nah, I've got a little brother. He's 26 and a little sister who's 13.
Okay. And how old are you, if you don't mind me
32.
asking? Oh, 32. Yeah. Oh, that's a decent age. You're still youthful.
Yeah.
So when you was growing up in Edmonton and you was going to school, you was going secondary school and whatnot, what kind of, let's talk about school first. Well, how did you find school? I
mean, I like school. I used to mess about in school, but I done really well considering I didn't really make much effort. But when I was in school, all I cared about doing was making money. Because I didn't come from money. Like my mum couldn't afford to even give me £5 pocket money a day or even £5 every other day. I had to go to school, buy and sell crisp and drinks. That's how I made my money. So, when everyone was playing football or talking nonsense, I was in the middle of the playground buying and selling crisp and drinks.
I feel like there's a lot more people coming out saying that they were selling food in the playground and whatnot.
I had to do what I had to do, man.
It's a very entrepreneurial thing to do, like, do you know what I'm saying? A lot of people that was doing those things in the playground and now...
they're doing their own thing. Yeah.
They're doing their own thing now. Do you know what I'm saying? So you said you didn't do bad in your grades, GCSEs, so you got A's?
Nah, just straight C's.
Okay.
Yeah. If I really put in the effort, I could have got B's, but A-star student, nah. But B's, I should have got B's. I just coast along in school. Like literally, like in between forms and classrooms and like you have like maths and then French and I was going into the other classes selling and that and then quickly nipping back into my class.
You're selling the classes as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, you took it far. I was only keeping it to the playground and maybe some corridor stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then when you finished secondary school, what was like your vision for college?
Do you know, I didn't even know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But basically, there's an electrician in my family, it's my mum's age. And my mum said, what do you want to do? This was leading up to finishing school. I said, I don't know. She was like, well, cousin such and such, he's an electrician, he's got a nice car, he's got his own property. Why don't you do that? And I was like, yeah, try that. Yeah. So I started that. Actually ended up dropping out of college temporarily.
Literally just became an electrician essentially.
Yeah. I didn't do all this working in Asda, all these different jobs, just I've always been an electrician.
Are you still an electrician now?
Yeah, I just studied one thing as well, electrical. Certain man, they will study sports science, then carpentry, and start flip-flopping. Nah, I just studied one thing.
So when you qualified as an electrician, how old was you?
I'd say 21.
Okay.
I think I was 21. Yeah, because I passed my test when I was 20. Yeah, and then so I think I was 21.
You started working?
Yeah, so basically I done an apprenticeship with Haringey Council. I got that apprenticeship through the prison system, probation system. And I was their apprentice from 19 to 2021.
What was you on probation for?
Well, obviously when you get released from prison, you're on license for however long. And there was an opportunity that came up. They wanted someone who was, had been in prison. So basically with big organizations like the local council, Haringey, they want to employ people from different walks of life. So they want someone who's trans, they want someone who's Muslim, they want someone who's a black convict. Yeah. And I was their black convict, so that's why I got the job. If I wasn't in no trouble, I wouldn't have got that job.
That's funny to say that. But why was you in probation anyway? What happened?
Yeah, so basically, I got involved in a case I wasn't supposed to get involved in.
We're never supposed to be involved.
Yeah. Basically, obviously, I knew everyone in my area. And you know, like you have in-house politics. Yeah. We're all on the same team, warring against the same people, but sometimes there's in-house politics. Yeah. And basically, one of my, a certain set of man that I know must have beat up and rushed one next to you. They took his bike. So it happened on the train tracks. So British Transport Police got involved in that. Yeah. So I had nothing to do with that, but I know both parties. Yeah. But the youths that beat up and rushed the youth that I know, they said, yo, I beg you just chat to him and that and just tell him to drop the case. We'll give the bike back. And so it was actually technically a robbery case, but it's not a robbery case. Yeah. They beat him up and they took his bike. They didn't give him back his bike. So I went to his yard a couple of times and bumped into his sister on the street and said, yo, tell my man to drop the case. His mum, I don't know, maybe she saw it as I wasn't being loyal to her son because I used to go to the house and that. She snitched on me. Yeah,
no way.
She lied and said that I went to the yard with people and they had their hoods on their head.
What, he was just there like agreeing with her?
I don't know. I don't know. But I got basically done for perverting the course of justice. Now, I didn't even go to jail for that straight away. Obviously, man was having bare politics on the road and I ended up cutting off my tag and going country. Yeah, okay. So when I got caught up there, they brought me back down here and then, the judge was like, I remember like it was yesterday, I went to Wood Green Crown Court. The judge that gave me the tag, so he let me off. I could have gone to jail potentially. He gave me a tag, and then when I cut off the tag and obviously they bring you back to court and that, he's like, hold on a minute, I remember you. Like obviously I'm standing far away from him, but he remembered the name. He's like, I gave you a tag. You cut off the tag. No, that's it. Custodial sentence. That day, I was gone.
How long did you get?
It was supposed to be, so it was 6 months, but you know when they do all this concurrent business, I ended up doing 2 behind the door. Okay. I went to Felton for 2 weeks and I went to ISIS for the rest.
And how old was you?
Oh, 18. So you was on 011 when I was 18.
Okay, so you went into young offenders for basically perverting the course of justice. Yeah,
and cutting, breaching the tag. And
how was that experience for you in custody?
I mean, I wanted to go to jail, you know.
You wanted to go to jail?
So basically, I was on a path of self-destruction. You know, like you just want to be known as that guy on the ends. And I'm like, man's conquered the streets and I don't get it twisted. I ain't get down everyone, but I was active in my area. So I was like, you know what? The next stage is jail. Let me see if I'm tough enough to handle prison. Nothing. Obviously, I was only there for 2 months. You're weak. The man, they're going to sniff it out straight away. So,
and young offenders as well is obviously different experience to adult prison.
I ain't been adult prison, but I know, it's always going off. When I was going there, let's say from a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being I don't give a damn and 10 being shook, I was like a 3. I was more intrigued, like, I want to see what this is like.
Yeah, what is that?
And the film's coming like a checkpoint. Everyone kind of goes.
Yeah. And then you was released at 18.
Yeah, just after 2 months.
I went straight back into electrical engineering.
Well, the funny thing is, obviously, when I came out of prison, I was still getting up to nonsense. And so I remember they have like the internal probation people, this lady, because obviously I'm just being an idiot in jail. She said to me, I'll give you 6 weeks. 6 weeks you're going to be back in jail. Obviously, it's been like 14 years. Luckily I ain't gone back on that. But I was still on the road, not with them, man, but I was still up to no good. And then, I got the apprenticeship and then I just dropped everything out.
So do you feel like, obviously earlier on you said that you was on a self-destruction route.
Yeah.
When you came out of prison after experiencing that lifestyle in prison, you went back to electrical engineering. Did you start to realise that a lot of stuff that you was doing to yourself was pretty harmful and unnecessary?
No, I've only realised that in recent times, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, even the stuff that I put my mum through as well. I remember, obviously, when I was inside, my house got raided.
Yeah.
And my mum was pregnant with my little sister, like, ready to drop 2-3 weeks before. And mum said she nearly had a heart attack. Oh, no, I think she was in the living room and the door was just flown off.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, when you're an idiot, you don't really care about those things.
Yeah.
When you get older, you realise, you know what, like your mum could have had a miscarriage or something like that.
Yeah, of course.
You never know.
That's serious. Why did they raid your house if you was already in prison?
So obviously I thought, so basically what was happening, the riots were going on.
Okay, the 2012.
2011 riots. They started at the beginning of August.
Okay.
And I was saying to the man on the wing, I guarantee they've gone to my house and because I was active in my area. So anyway, got picked up on August the 19th, which was a Friday. Gone home. As I approached my front door, I seen the door smashed in. They put like the wood on it to support the door, and so I was like, okay, cool. Said to my mum, what happened to the door? Like, when did they come? She was like, I'll tell you afterwards. So anyway, once my cousin left, I was like, so when did they come? She said, end of July. So I'm like, end of July? The riots was in the beginning of August. I was like, so what did they come for then? She was like, well, apparently they had the intelligence that you was wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Anyway, after the conversation, I ran upstairs, checked my stuff. Yeah, I'm like, whoa, I could have got gator.
Everything was there, yeah. But there must have been, you must have said something over the phone or something that triggered a search.
Basically, when I was out of town, I'm only clocking this recently, like within the last 6 months.
Yeah.
I reckon the youths that got bagged out there, because they all got nicked. Yeah. So I found out they all got nicked like a couple years later. I reckon they probably just snitched on man. Maybe. Yeah. Because they're the only people that would know that I would have stuff.
Yeah.
Because basically I ran off with their stuff as well. Because, I thought they weren't going to try and pay me. Yeah, basically when I was out there, I got nicked. I was supposed to be out there for 10 days.
Yeah.
I got nicked. Obviously I didn't get paid because I got nicked.
Yeah.
Went back up there and they said to me basically, because you only done 7 out of the 10 days or 5 out of the 10 days, we can't pay you. We need you to come and finish the 10 days off, yeah? So I was like, all right then, I ain't got nothing to lose. Yeah, like I've got more to lose by not going up there. I've gone up there and I just thought I was going to get nicked. So I was like, you know what? Boom, took my stuff, took what I believed I was owed and then just bust out. And then, they was looking for me still. But obviously I still left some of their stuff behind, but I still took a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Nah, they still owe me this and that. So when they got nicked, let's say a few months afterwards, I reckon, I think they must have snitched on me.
So when you was, obviously you've mentioned country, when you was in country, was that like, when you first went there, was that your first time there?
Yeah. First and only time. Yeah.
So when you went there, was that like, what on earth is going on here?
Nah, because obviously man was trying to build up a line on the ends anyway.
Yeah.
So
you knew.
I was accustomed to those people anyway. But I remember, no homo, but me and a man were sleeping in the bed together, yeah? Literally. We went to a cat's yard and that, and that was the spot for the night and that, and he's literally at the bottom end and I'm at the other end.
Yeah, I know the ones.
Yeah.
I know the ones. So then when you came back from it, you thought, this is not for me, like man ain't going back to that, or you thought, you know what, I made a decent P, let me step back next
you know
week
what,
the
maddest thing is, when I was out there, a cat, this is a woman that ain't got no teeth in her mouth, she sells herself, she said to me, how much you making being out here? And I said, X amount for X amount days. She was like, that's not worth it. I wouldn't even bother come up here if I was you. I'm like, she's right, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so even now, like, it was like basically the equivalent of £100 a day. That is slave labor.
Yeah.
All you need to do is go and work as a painter and decorator. You can get more than that back then. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing this and you can end up in jail for 2 years or 18 months at best.
There is a lot of risk involved.
Yeah, too much risk. And that just getting caught by the police, you know, the customers, they might try to get at you. I had a situation where I thought a guy was going to try a thing, you know.
What happened?
Luckily, so basically, I used to get moved around to different spots.
Yeah.
Because it used to get hot. It used to get bait. Remember, I'm in an area where people don't look like me.
Yeah.
And it's bait. It's bait. So anyway, I must have got a call. Obviously, the line was going off all day long. But there was one where it was at night time. So probably about 8, 9, but it was dark. Met this guy in the alleyway. Now, apparently he was an ends cat. So he's from the ends originally, somewhere. But he's up there and that's a man that looked like me,
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him. He's with another guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. So I hand it over. So like, give me the money first. And he's like, no, I want to see it. He was trying it. And there came a point where he stopped talking. Yeah. Just that, you know, that 2 seconds and you know something's up. But there was another customer waiting and he was like, allow it. And that was it. So yeah, if that guy weren't there, I might not be here on this podcast. It only take one.
100
to get down. So,
bro, trust me, I know all about that. I've had my situations and whatnot with country lines and whatnot, but it's not for those who are faint-hearted. You gotta be really on it from day one. But anyway, moving past from county lines, that was before your electrical apprenticeship.
Yeah, just so the same year, because my 2011 was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that same year, obviously early in the year, went country, and then later on, November, got the apprenticeship.
And then you just stuck to it. That was you. How did you become the person you are today?
Well, the reason why I was able to kind of just leave the roles alone is all the man that was in prison. Because everyone got nicked for the riots. Okay. To the point where when I was in ISIS, there was a wing called Meridian that was for the 21 to 25s or something. They were putting the young youths over there, the new people that were coming in. Every now and then, people that were on my house block, Thames, if they were bad or getting in trouble and that whatever, they would get put over there. But these new people, they had no way to put them, so they put them there. So when I came out, obviously, I didn't phone none of my people to say, yo, I'm touching road or nothing, innit? I just came out and then I heard like, yo, no one's about. Everyone's in. I don't mean everyone. Everyone, like, even like 4 or 5 man from my estate were in. Some of my brethrens, they were in. One of my brethrens, he must have got away with it, but then they found DNA on the inside of a shop. What was your DNA doing inside the shop? They ended up getting nicked about 6 months later. So, it was easy for me to jump off the road because I had no one around.
Bro, the riots was crazy. I didn't even get to experience it because I was already in prison.
Oh, you was in jail?
11, 10, 12. I was in like Cookenwood, Ashfield, like proper young offenders. And I was watching it on TV and I was thinking the world is ending. Remember, 2012 was the year where everyone just seemed to think that the world was going to end. I don't know why.
A Mayan calendar or something like that.
I don't even know.
Some business like that.
So I'm in jail, young offenders. All the man is running around saying, yo, the world's ending, 2012, look on TV. The apocalypse, this is what they spoke about. You know what I'm saying? So at the age of 15, you earned a Taekwondo black belt. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
So it was a long journey. So you start off at white belt. And then it depends on your club. You can go up in increments. So instead of just going from white belt to yellow belt, you go from white belt with a yellow tag. So that's like the halfway point. So a white belt, then got the yellow tag, then got the yellow belt and that. I think when I got to green tag, so the next belt should be green. I was halfway in between. I don't know. I just weren't performing. Like my instructor, she could see I was just messing about or whatever. So she held me back. Now, if you get held back by 1, that's not too bad. But what happens is everyone grades at the same time. So there were people that started at the same time as me that was exactly the same age as me, like even down to the same school year, year 1, year 2. They passed me. All right, cool. I'm just 1 behind them and that. But at some point, I kept on getting held back because I was just messing about. Now, the kids that were like 2 years younger than me and started 2 years after me, they've caught up to me. And I looked around and I'm like, nah, I got to make some change. Right?
You're the only one.
So it's coming like, you know, like when we used to watch Recess or them cartoons, you got like the 6th grader in the 3rd grade. Big and fat. That was me. So, and then once that happened, I never missed no grading opportunities. And then, started at 7, passed my black belt when I was 15, around summertime. I'm trying to think what year that would have been, probably 08, because I left school in 09 when I was 16. So 08, summertime.
Is that something that your mum put you in?
What happened was I used to watch a lot of Bruce Lee films. Way of the Dragon and Enter the Dragon and Fist of Fury and that. And I used to obviously practice the moves. And so one time, I think my stepdad was walking around Edmonton Green, and then I think he come back and he said, yeah, I've seen some taekwondo or martial arts.
Yeah.
Send him there.
Promo, yeah.
Went there one time, that was it. Never stopped going. Yeah, until obviously over the last few years I ain't been, but I will go back to martial arts.
Do you think it gave you a sense of discipline? Or do you feel like it gave you tools to, you know, make you more road, like, oh, I can just punch man up anytime?
Do you know what, yeah? When I was younger, I never used to like getting into real fights or beef. You know? I was actually a soft youth, you know?
Yeah.
But obviously a few things happened to me on the road and I just turned into a nutcase, literally. But a lot of people ask me, the reason why you're disciplined now is because of taekwondo. Nah, because I was getting into foolishness and that, and not everyone is going to be disciplined for martial arts. There's a lot of people that I went class with and that they were bunning weed, drinking when they weren't supposed to be drinking. And
yeah.
So, I just think it's just something that's within me.
Yeah.
I don't think taekwondo had anything to do with it.
So 17, you was in a gang, and then when did you actually get stabbed?
I got stabbed when I was 19 on the way to taekwondo.
Really? What happened?
So obviously there was one estate in Tottenham that, I declared war on all of them, yeah? So there's back and forth between myself and just them. Obviously my guys would back me, but I was scoring on them and they were scoring on me.
Yeah.
So one time, so this beef started before I went to jail.
Yeah.
I even moved to a youth from their estate in jail.
Yeah.
But then when I came out, I was on my way to taekwondo. It was a Saturday morning. Got on the bus at Edmonton Green, got off at like near Phillip Lane or somewhere.
Yeah.
I saw you that hangs around with them. Obviously, when you're on a double-decker bus in London and that, we got the exit at the back.
Yeah.
I got off at the entrance because I saw him standing there with his girl. I just licked him. He just ran off.
Yeah.
So I'm tall, he's like 6'4", he just ran off.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to my taekwondo session. I don't know what he's on, where he's going. I'm just walking. He saw me and he ran off again. Boom. So I had my taekwondo session, and when I come out, you know, like you just get this feeling that something's not right. I see these two random youths. One was crouching down behind like a low-level wall. And I just looked at him and I remember I recognised one of them from my college. Youths used to come to my college, but they're not studying. They just used to turn up.
They're just pulling up.
So anyway, I've walked off now. I walked through the car park. I'm just going home. I'm not thinking much of it. I'm like, that looks a bit dodgy. Why are these youths hanging around? So anyway, all I heard someone say, "Aye." So anyway, as I turned around, two of them approached me. I just boxed one of them in the face. They looked at each other, you know, in disbelief, like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, the youth that I must have moved to initially, he's come running over with two other guys. Now there's five of them. I've just cut.
Yeah.
And I ran into Phillip Lane bus garage and I got stabbed in there. So,
how did that make you feel when you got stabbed?
I mean, I was just out for revenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, certain people will think like, okay, I'll tap out. Nah, and then tap out. So literally, I remember phoning my mum and I was like, I just got stabbed. She was like, stop joking, stop lying. I was so calm about it, I just got stabbed. And she was like, serious? Yeah. And then she came down to the hospital and that. But obviously, there were replies to that.
Yeah, so do you feel like that kind of made you more paranoid and PTSD and everything like that?
I remember when I came out of hospital, after like a couple of days, I must have went out to the shop and it was nighttime and one youth was random youth. He must have been running for a bus, but I got flashbacks, you know? Yeah, that was, I almost like even froze up, like, but it was some random youth, had nothing to do with it and that. But since then, nah. That's what happens, isn't it? Like, I've had a few people come at me with knives. I wouldn't have got stabbed if it was a one-on-one more than like, I'm good on my feet, you know? I've had people come at me with knives before and never got stabbed and it's not because I ran away, it's just I know how to handle myself, innit? But there was 5-on-1 in it, so.
But moving on from the street life, the gang stuff, obviously you're involved in property. Tell us a bit about how that journey started from an electrician to now owning property. What was that journey like?
So me and my brethren used to stand on my estate. We used to talk about like flipping properties, and I used to always like watching Homes Under the Hammer. This is before I like watching that as well. Yeah. I ain't watched it in years, but I love that program. And he said, one thing that you can make money from is flipping properties. So I used to watch Homes Under the Hammer. This is when I was like 17.
Yeah.
And then every now and then in life, someone's gonna say something to you and it might not mean anything at the time, but they'll just drop that little one line on you. And then years later, you're like, oh, that was a little gem, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was an apprentice, just before I hit 21, I was with my mentor. And he said to me, yeah, when I was your age, Jay, I bought my first house with my wife.
Yeah.
Now, at the time, he was 7 years older than me. So he was currently 28 and I was 21. And I think to myself, well, obviously he done it with his wife and that. But at the end of the day, in a few months' time, when I graduate and become a fully qualified electrician, I'm going to be on the same wage as you.
Yeah.
So if you can do it, I can.
Yeah, of course.
You're no more special than me.
Yeah, of course.
Thing, innit? So, didn't buy a property straight away because I didn't have enough money. I had to save up. Mm-hmm. So I saved up £1,000 a month for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Had like, I think a max of like 32 grand saved up. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 years onwards, I was 24 years old. And then, I bought my first property. One of my brethren, he took me up to Northampton where he had a property. He just needed me to do some electrical work.
Yeah.
And when I was looking at buying properties, Edmonton, which sits at the top of North London, that was too expensive. So I went further up north on the map. Luton, too expensive. Milton Keynes, I could have bought a flat there, but I wanted a house.
Yeah.
Then the next place, apart from Newport Pagnell, was a place called Northampton. I was like, I can get a house for the budget that I'm on.
Yeah.
Bought one house in 2014.
Yeah.
And then, a few years later, I'll say about 4 or 5 years later, I bought a second one. And since then, it's been a snowball.
Bro, what's the best way to save up and get started in the property investment game? Live at your parents' house. Don't drive a Mercedes. Don't lease an expensive car. Don't waste money popping bottles in the club. Get yourself a decent job. Work every hour under the sun. If you can, become self-employed. Those are the best ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought 2 in 1 year. And
So how many properties would you say you've got now in total?
So I've got 5 now. Forget about the one in Egypt.
Yeah.
I've got 5. Actually, at the end of this month, on the 31st, I'll be completing on the 6th one. Yeah, so.
What is the biggest challenges you find in property managing?
Probably just dealing with the tenants.
Yeah.
I mean, if any, I don't have no problems with none of my tenants because I don't play around. I literally evicted someone 3 Sundays ago.
Yeah.
Because I just thought they was an idiot and I didn't like their attitude.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're paying rent.
Yeah.
You can pay double. If I don't like your attitude, you don't speak to me properly, you're gone. And she wasn't even being directly rude, but it was just like passive aggressive stuff. You speak to someone on the phone, you know, like when it's coming to the end of the phone call when you're about to say bye, she'll just lock off the phone. Doing all that nonsense and that. Obviously, that was because I said to her, you're getting evicted on such and such day. So now, she's not happy with me, innit?
Yeah.
So, I just evicted her. But it's just a little, it's always a revolving door because obviously I only rent out rooms.
Yeah.
So, people might stay for only 6 months or whatever and that. So it's a constant revolving door rather than just having a family in there for 5 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you've got a lot of properties, you're going to have a lot of rooms. You can have one house where you've got 3 rooms. So now you've got 3 tenants.
Yeah.
You can have one flat where you've got 2 rooms. One will be the living room. You convert that into a bedroom and the bedroom is a bedroom. So now you got 2 people in there.
So that kind of like HMOs.
Yeah. So it's just a constant revolving door. And obviously, as I've got more now, there's more problems because you've got more properties now.
Yeah. So when you got your first 2 properties, was it like a game changer? Or was you like thinking, why have I not been doing this from time?
Yeah. I mean, maybe it wasn't at the second property. It was more like when I got maybe the 3rd one.
Yeah.
I was like, if only I knew what I knew now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say to the young people, like, watch my videos and learn from my mistakes. And not that I've made bad mistakes and that, but like, you don't want to be buying like one property every 5 years. You want to get them as soon as possible so you can take advantage of the capital appreciation sooner.
So you think getting a loan and then getting 2 properties straight at the top?
I mean, if you can get it, like, put it this way. Imagine someone gave me, I don't know, 300 grand in cash.
Yeah.
I would never buy one house, one property. I would split that up and buy as many properties as possible for that 300 grand.
Yeah.
Like when people talk about buying a property outright in cash, that is just the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only one property can go up in value so much.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're in control of 5 properties, then you've got 5 opportunities for capital appreciation.
So you said that buying property in cash is obviously not the right thing to do, or it's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
How do you recommend people do it then?
Get a mortgage.
Get a mortgage, yeah?
Yeah. So put down your 25%, get a mortgage.
But to get a mortgage isn't as easy as people say get a mortgage, is it?
I think it's easier than people think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Obviously, if your credit score is bad, that's down to you.
Yeah.
So make sure you have a good credit score. But like even things like with getting a buy-to-let property, there are lenders out there who don't require you to have an income.
Okay.
Just the deposit. Let's say the deposit is 25 grand because that's 25% of 100. You just need 25 grand. You don't even need no income. Yeah. Some lenders say you need a minimum of 12.5 grand income because that's basically not the national minimum wage, but basically like the national, I think, tax-free allowance and that. Yeah. And then some lenders say you need to have a minimum income of 25 grand.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but you have to get a mortgage broker for that. If you just go to one lender, Nationwide, Santander, whoever and that, they're going to tell you one thing. Different lenders specialize for different things.
Yeah.
So some lenders specialize for people that have gone bankrupt or have bad credit. And
yeah.
If you go to one...
But the APR is obviously going to be higher. Then.
Yeah. But I'd rather have the higher APR than not be a landlord or not buy a property at all. I'd rather be in the game than be excluded from the game.
Yeah. For those who don't know what APR is, do you want to explain what that is?
But I don't know what APR is. Yeah. But obviously, everyone will get a slightly different interest rate.
Yeah.
So basically, my girlfriend's a mortgage broker, and people will phone up and say, "Oh, what kind of interest rate can I get?" It depends. Depends on your situation. Depends on your credit score as well. Depends on how much you're putting down as a deposit. So it all depends. It's not like, oh yeah, you're gonna get this credit score. They have to put you through an affordability calculator and stuff like that. Yeah.
And obviously you explained earlier that you went up to Northampton to invest in your first property. Yeah. Obviously that was just a luck of the shock because your friend needed you up there for electrician. But if you had a choice of your own to invest in property with the money that you had at that time, would you still went to Northampton? Yeah,
I don't think I really had much of a choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go somewhere like, I don't know, Norwich or wherever. But if I could afford London, if I could do what I do in Northampton, I'll do it in London.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about having properties in the posh areas like Chelsea and that. But if I could have one in Edmonton, Tottenham, Ilford, I'd love to do that in London. I don't like that Northampton area. I'm just there. I can't stand it up there.
Yeah. Is that where you live now?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're constantly there?
Yeah. So I come down on the weekends, but I'm there Monday to Friday. So.
Do you have any kids?
Nah, not yet.
None at all?
Not yet. I'm doing the work for them.
Yeah.
So I basically set up my children. Literally, if I had a son and a daughter or 2 sons, 2 daughters, they could literally have a flat opposite each other. Yeah. One each. I've got 2 flats opposite each other.
Yeah.
And this is the importance of, making preparation that you got to do it for the next generation.
No, definitely. A lot of people don't understand that. They think for now, innit? Yeah. And I feel like our parents kind of didn't understand that either. That's why a lot of us are in the situations.
What annoys me about working class parents is this, So a lot of working class parents, when their children get to a certain age, 18 or 22, when they start working, like, you're earning X amount of money now. Now I need £500 from you. 1 second. The whole reason why they're charging their children £500, because these parents initially didn't do the right work and preparation, their kids were a burden on them. Yeah. So now they feel like you owe me something. When I have kids, they won't be a burden to me. Yeah. So they don't owe me nothing. Yeah. All you owe me is hard work. Yeah. You got to be doing what you're supposed to be doing at that particular time. Yeah. So, if you're in college, you better be going college, uni, whatever and that, or working, whatever. If I see my son sitting down or, not doing what he's supposed to do, you have to come out of the yard. Yeah. So I won't be charging my son no rent or nothing like that. Your payment to me is doing what you're supposed to be doing.
But I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. The argument is very valid. But I feel like some parents who do charge their kids rent money, I think it just gives them a sense of responsibility. More so than...
I mean, if let's say, for example, your parents are from this country, where they had the opportunities that, everyone else had. They had good opportunities in that. If your parents are from a foreign country where things were bad, that's different. Yeah. But if your parents born and grown in this country... they had no excuse to make something of themselves. Yeah. So, what I'm saying there is more pertains to the parents who were actually born in England. Yeah. If parents are from somewhere else, that's different. But in England, there's plenty of opportunities. Yeah. It's not hard. You just got to work hard. That's it. Work hard is the be all and end all.
When you was running around Edmonton, like trying to own the streets and get your reputation up and own the block and that, and now you own property, you must sit there and think like, why was I trying to own the block?
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, when I made a video where I went around and just done like a little tour of my 4 properties at the time. I had 4, and obviously the last property I went to was the one that's opposite the other one. And I think I said in the video, I didn't upload this, but I'm like, I own the block. The top of the block. So literally it's the ground floor, there's 2 flats on the ground floor. And then the first floor, which is the top floor, there's 2 flats. I literally own the top.
Okay.
I own the top.
It must be very good to own that, because a lot of our young people nowadays, you know, they want to own the ends, they want to own the block, this and that. What advice would you give them? Like, I mean, you was once in that position as well. So what advice would you give the young boys now on the estates that feel like the block's mine?
You don't own no block. The local government or local council will move your mum to Milton Keynes or Northampton, so you don't own nothing. Yeah, you can fight over this postcode all you want. By the end of the day, if the government decide to evict your mum, you're no longer a part of that estate. Yeah,
I think we went through that phase where the government started knocking down loads of estates, loads of properties, all like the major blocks in Peckham, major blocks in Lewisham, like all the hood, you know, like the Mandem blocks. They're just gone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
They knocked down some blocks around, is it Kidbrook Ferrier Estate or something?
Yeah, even that. There's a whole new thing
Stonebridge
there
as well, they done that over there.
And it's like, now you drive through these ends and it's like, it's not even the ends no more. It's like,
they gentrified the whole place. Hackney is completely different.
Yeah.
So back in the day, when I was younger, I always knew like Hackney has been a bad area.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm a lot older now. My little sister, she will know Hackney as being like a rich person's. Even Islington.
Even Peckham.
Yeah. I remember like looking on, was it Zoopla? They were selling a 2-bed flat for like 700 grand, you know? Peckham.
Yeah.
Peckham, that would have been a no-go zone back in the day.
Bro, Peckham used to be rough. Like, you go there, there's rats everywhere, there's the blocks looking mad. Even where the cinema, everything's looking mad. But you go there now and it's like, you're driving through, I don't even know, I compare it to Dulwich. Yeah, you get me. But do you feel like what the government's done or doing in terms of tearing down these blocks and rebuilding it, do you feel like it's benefiting the people?
Nah, it won't benefit the people, because obviously the price of everything around them will go up. If they're putting up all these posh-ish shops and that, it's just going to drive the price up. But listen, you got to be able to adapt.
So then what do you think happens to those people that are being pushed out? Do you think that culture that they had here is just gonna, maybe in 10, 20 years time, gonna develop again over there, and then they're gonna do it all over again?
Yeah. That will happen. But at the end of the day, the face of every place changes at some point. So like back in the day, let's say Tottenham, just Jamaicans. Now, apparently, I think Tottenham has the highest population of Ghanaians in Europe.
I thought Tottenham was Africans.
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like the 90s, and that was just Jamaicans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, English-born Jamaicans like me. Yeah. Even my stepdad, he's from Tottenham. He said you don't recognise the place no more. It's just different.
The way I would even recognise that, because I walk anywhere in Tottenham, all I hear is Congolese, people talking loud in their phones, Lingala, this and that, Ghanaian,
it weren't like
Nigerian.
That before, back in the day, it was strictly English-born Jamaicans.
Yeah.
Probably some yardies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is a good thing that the government is rebuilding these hoods and putting money into like these areas and making it more comfortable and nice to live at, because some of these properties or blocks or estates, like they were like this close to looking like prison.
Yeah. But that's the thing, the face of everywhere changes, like I said. Like, a lot of people are complaining that, I don't recognise Britain no more.
Yeah.
You don't actually understand, that like the reason why you are here today is because someone came from another place and settled.
Yeah.
Even like, if we talk about the Turks, people think, kebab man and that, Mediterranean looking man. No, the original Turks looked like Chinese people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, like, no, I'm not saying Genghis Khan, but them sort of people there, they're the original Turks. So, you know, the face of every place changes. The reason why you are who you are today is someone came on from another land. Because we're never all just 100% anything.
Yeah.
Unless you're from some remote village or you're from the Sentinel Island or something like that. We're all mixed with something. Like even like, let's say like you, yeah? If you do a DNA test, you probably got this and that. I know I've seen a few people that have done the Congolese, they're Congolese and do a DNA test. They've got Nigerian and Kenyan in them. You probably didn't even know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. People from Sierra Leone. I think someone said that their forefathers are originally from Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's all about our roots as well.
Yeah.
You know, getting to know our roots and whatnot. So you're 100% Jamaican.
Nah.
You're not?
I done it. I done the DNA test.
Oh, so, what did it say?
I'm 86% black. Yeah, so 86% African. In that 86%, 40% Nigerian.
Okay.
10% Benin and Togo. Now, one of my brothers said that there's Yoruba in Benin and Togo. So you're basically 50% Nigerian. Then the rest is just like, I don't know, Ghanaian and just West African.
Yeah.
The other 14%, because I said I'm 86% black. I've got 7% Chinese in me because in Jamaica we had a lot of Chinese people.
I can
Yeah. People think because I bun weed, I don't smoke. That ain't no high business. So 7% Chinese, and then the rest is just white.
Yeah.
It's obviously slave trade and that probably. Like Scottish, Irish, and Norwegian and Swedish.
Yeah.
So but I done the test.
What did you do? You have to give them your blood?
Nah, you spit in a test tube.
Okay, and they just get all of that from your saliva.
Yeah, and some people think, it's fake. It's not fake.
I was going to say
that. The fact that they was
next.
able to pick up that I got Chinese in me. Because I know my great-grandma already.
Oh, you knew you had Chinese in you?
Yeah.
Okay,
My
cool.
great-grandma, she was half.
Yeah.
Her father was from Hong Kong. She's obviously Chinese and that. He came over to be a fisherman.
Yeah.
Like the early 1900s.
Yeah.
So, it's not fake.
I was going to say that. Are you sure they're not just remixing it?
No, it's real.
That's good though. I mean, it does give people like a sense of understanding who they are, innit? And where they come from.
Yeah.
But it also highlights like the kind of journey we've had, you know, on the map. Obviously, you're a young black man from Edmonton. You're now in property. Do you go into like meetings sometimes with like, for example, let's say you go to auction and you're buying your property. Do you feel like stigmatized at times and people looking at you like...
No, under no circumstances do I feel like my colour has any difference, has any impact. I don't walk, like, let's say in my office, I'm the only person of colour in there.
Really?
I don't walk in there and think, I'm the only person of colour. Like, I even tell some of the tenants, like, at my workplace, and obviously I have to phone the tenants when I'm going to their property and that. I mean, they tell me already, I knew you was going to be black. I don't try and put on this fake persona, put on some posh voice to sound not black. No, I want you to know it's a black man. Why would I want to look like something else? So people who have a telephone voice or they've toned down the way they speak and that, so they speak a certain way. So when they turn up to the front door, it's like, I thought it was going to be, and it's turned out to be this. Nah, I want you to know I'm a black man. Why would I want you to think that I was a different culture? It's not even about being proud of being black on that. It's just, why am I trying to be something I'm not?
I think it comes down to confidence, isn't it?
I don't care how rich I am. I could become a millionaire. I'll still be that road guy from Edmonton. I'm not going to be on crime no more. But I'm still going to be that guy from the ends. I'm not going to think, I'm not from... I love going back to Edmonton. Some people who are from my area that have moved out, they say they don't like the ends. They can't stand Edmonton. I know why I used to get bullied on the ends. I mean, I had a good time when I was on the ends. So, I love where I come from. I don't walk around my area and think, look at this place and that. I've had people say to me, man, it's a dump and that, who are from Edmonton. I don't feel like that. Nah, I love where I come from.
And it's good to be proud. It's good to be proud of where you come from, because even, like you said, like you go into meetings and you remember where you come from. So even that in itself kind of like, I don't know, it gives you a sense of pride. Like man's in a room with people that I wouldn't be in a room with. Like
I would never try and change my London accent, nothing like that, to fit in with no one. I don't try and fit in with no one. People have to fit in with me. That's it.
No, that's a good attitude.
If anything, I'm not trying to fit in with nobody.
That's a good attitude to have, you know, because then your presence when you walk in a room is like, I'm going to listen to this guy.
Do
you know what I'm saying? Your head high, confident, all of these things that show through without before you even like say your name. You know, body language is very important.
Yeah.
You said earlier that you've got 5 properties and 1 in Egypt. How did you end up getting a property in Egypt?
So basically, I'm trying to think what year it was now. Whatever year I bought my first property, I think it was 2014.
Yeah.
I had about 10 grand left in savings. So I was unemployed. I was doing little bits of private work here and there as an electrician. Had a vending machine business. So I had a vending machine at my uni and one at a community centre in Islington.
Oh, that's
so I make a little bit of money in it, but I wasn't saving no more. But I noticed like, when I was looking at my savings, every month it will go down a little bit. It's going down, that means it ain't going up.
Yeah.
At some point, on a long enough time scale, you know, you're not gonna have nothing. So I thought, you know what? I'm in a sort of comfort space right now where I need to get out of this in order to get a job and, you know, start doing something proper. And I said, you know what? Let me get rid of all my money. So I put myself in survival mode. I need to throw myself in the deep end.
Okay.
So I got rid of my safety net. So what I did was one morning I woke up at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I was on Zoopla looking at overseas properties.
Yeah.
Cut the long story short, went from A to Z and found properties in Egypt. And me, I don't know, I just decided, you know, let me buy a property in Egypt.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
I just decided, let me buy a little flat in Egypt. And I still ain't been out there.
You still ain't been out there?
Still ain't been out
What did
there.
you get?
Just a studio flat.
Okay.
It cost me like 8,600 off plan.
Yeah.
If you'd bought it on plan, it would have been more expensive.
Yeah.
You buy it off plan when they're just starting to construct the building, it's a bit cheaper.
It's always cheaper. So when, for example, let's say if I want to buy a off-plan property, what kind of things should I be taking in consideration when I'm buying for off-plan?
I mean, as long as you know who the developer is, like let's say it's in this country, as long as it's real and the developer's a real person and that you get your solicitors involved, there's nothing really to worry about. A lot of people try to complicate property and mortgages, you know. It's very simple. I do mentoring sessions and that.
Yeah.
And I've had a few youths say, yeah, I've got to do all this research. Big man, just get the deposit. Don't worry about all the technical stuff. This is why you have a mortgage broker and a conveyancing solicitor. They're going to make sure you don't mess up. Like you're never going to really buy the wrong property or a bad property because they'll go out and do a survey.
Yeah.
The lender, when they lend you the money, they're going to make sure that they're lending you on a viable property.
Yeah.
They're taking a risk as well. So they're double checking your checks.
Okay.
Or checking if you ain't checked.
Okay.
Because they go out and do a survey. So
thanks for that answer, by the way. That was a good answer. I was thinking more of like, if I'm buying an off-plan property, I want to know the local train station, the schools, the crime, the area that it's actually going to be built in so that I would understand how I'm going to get my money back. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it depends on what you're buying it for. If you're a parent or family planning, then the local schools will be important. If you're just buying it for investment purposes, that might not be that important to you, you know, unless you're looking to rent it out to a family. And I don't recommend renting out the whole property to people.
Oh, because why is
the laws in this country are against landlords. Landlords don't have no leg to stand on. They're even talking about now, landlords can't demand more than 1 month's rent as a deposit. So let's say, for example, a month's rent is £1,000. Typically, the landlord will take £1,000 as a deposit and 1 month's rent up front. Now, there are landlords that say, I want 5 months rent as a deposit, 5 grand. Like, nah, you're not doing that no more. Something along those lines. I don't know if they brought it into effect, but they're talking about doing that. Why? If the tenant is happy to put up front 5 months rent worth or 5 months in advance rent and that, why not? So they're just making it harder for landlords every single day. We ain't got no leg to stand on.
But I was private renting, I was private renting a studio flat. It had a garden. It also... I mean, the living area was open plan, innit? Open plan with the kitchen. No, the bedroom was separate. So the bedroom was separate, bathroom was separate. The only thing that was open was the kitchen and the front room and then the garden, right? The whole house was electric. You see, you already know. I was fucked from there, innit?
Yeah. Basically, I must have looked at buying a property not too long ago. And the guy was like, just to let you know, there's no gas on the street.
Is that a red flag?
It's all electric. And the reason why he mentioned that is because some people, they don't buy a property that's all electric. Because electric isn't as efficient in heating up a home, allegedly. I've never lived in a house where it's just electric. So I don't actually have that person.
I don't recommend it.
Yeah. Was it expensive?
Basically... it started off £1,100 just to rent. Yeah. To live there, in total, I was paying £1,400 every month. Like electric renting is crazy.
Yeah.
You wanna wash your face.
Yeah.
It's electric.
Yeah, you gotta heat up the water.
You gotta heat up. It's a myth. You turn on your radiator because your house is cold, your electric's done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You gotta top up by the meter.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst experience I ever experienced in my life. And I said to myself, I'm never ever getting an electric property again.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the reason why I actually moved out, because my rent went up. So what I was spending £1,400 a month on was going to be a £1,500-1,600 a month expenditure. And I was thinking, this is crazy.
Do you know, I've never upped the tenant's rent, ever. I've never, no tenant that's rented from me could say, yeah, Jay, put the rent up. I've never put the rent up.
Why do you, obviously you said you've never done it. Why do you think that some landlords feel obliged to put the rent up?
Yeah, so there's this misconception that landlords are these evil people sitting in a room scheming and trying to bleed tenants dry.
I agree with you.
It's not the case.
It gets personal sometimes.
Yeah. What it is they have to put their rent up in line with their mortgage. So if the base rate goes up, so their interest rate goes up, their mortgage is going to go up. So they need to make a profit. Let's say the landlord says, I need to make £400 profit every month. Well, if their mortgage has gone up by extra 100, that's 300. So they need to put the rent up by extra 100 to make it 400.
Do you know,
whatever.
A lot of people are going to be watching this and your explanation, they're going to be like, okay. Because a lot of people think the landlord's just scheming.
No. Obviously, there's some bad landlords. I've seen videos where there's like 30 man in a 3-bed house. No joke. In Harrow. Nightmare tenants, slum landlords.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. There's bad landlords. But me, I can honestly say I'm a good landlord. Apart from that one person I had to evict, everyone will have good things to say about me. I don't play around, but when there's a problem, phone me, I will come and deal with it.
Okay, like
Even
that.
on, I think Wednesday or Thursday this week, my tenant, he phoned me, he said, is the gas all okay? Whatever, the heating's not working. I was like, all right, check the water. He said, the water's not working, no hot water, no heating and that. Anyway, made a few phone calls, called up the emergency gas people just to go and have a look for free. And he said, yeah, the smart meter is dodgy. It's not allowing gas to go in the property. So gas is coming in from the street, no gas is going into the property. I said to my tenant, all right, listen, I'm going to phone up the gas company, like who I pay the bills to. Apparently, they don't have no emergency hours number. So anyway, by the next day, I got the gas back on. I deal with it straight away. I don't play around.
Well, that's how landlords should be, like, to be honest.
But if you're misbehaving, you're going to be out. So my tenants have said to me, like, just want to make sure that, like, you know, the other tenants are nice people, like, talking about some sly bully. I'm like, listen, if there's anyone that's bullying, it's me. You don't have to feel afraid of none of your house, but you got a problem, come to me, I'll fix that day. I'm not having it. Because my tenants, they're paying me, so they need to live comfortable. I tell them, if you've had problems with your neighbours, phone me, I'll come down.
So how do you feel confident, like, having a property in Egypt and it's so out of reach? Like, how do you manage that?
Obviously, I haven't been out there, but the way I done my due diligence was there's an overseas estate agent. So obviously, you got estate agents in this country. It was overseas estate agents who was based in the UK. They're called Rivermead Global. They're based in Manchester and they basically run the properties that are in Egypt. So what I done was I went on to their Facebook page and people were just writing stuff, leaving comments, testimonies and that. I contacted like 20 of them and sent the same generic message. Hello, I'm from the UK as well. I'm a bit 50-50 about buying a property abroad. Whatever, what was your experience like and that? About 10 people got back to me and they were saying, it's cool, it's legit. Because obviously, if you haven't been out there, you're going to be a bit apprehensive thinking, am I getting scammed in that? Because it's not a place where you can drive to. You know, I've never even been to Egypt. I've never even been to the continent of Africa. It's not like, it's even in Newcastle where I could go there. So, I just done my due diligence and I thought, I'll run with this. But when I went to NatWest in Enfield, I transferred over this 8,600 or whatever. And I was thinking, boy, is this really the guy in there? He said to me, you're brave, you know? Like, transferring it over, you don't even know where it's going.
What's going on? But that's good though. And how long have you had that property in Egypt for?
So since 2014. So we're talking almost 9 years. 11 years.
So you definitely made your money back. And
no, I ain't rented it out. It's just
you haven't rented it out?
empty.
Why? For 9 years?
Yeah. Don't ask you why, mate.
That's crazy, no?
Yeah, it's mad.
Is there a thought process as to why you haven't rented it out yet? Or is it just too much workload?
Do you know what it is? Out of sight, out of mind. So if you can't see it, you just forget about it.
Yeah.
When I had those vending machines, I put them in storage. They were in storage for like 2-3 years. Just forget about them.
Yeah.
Just forget about them.
Do you get some people to go around and check in on it and that? Just so that for it might be vandalized, it might be...
It's in a massive resort.
Okay.
So like mine is like unit 57 or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's more. I don't know, there might be a total of 70 units.
Yeah.
Obviously, they could pick that one to kick down the door. I don't know what's going on.
It sounds like you need to book a flight to Egypt.
Yeah. I'm a bit paranoid about going to these other countries though with their laws, boy.
Yeah.
If I get into something, I want to be behind the door.
No, man, you're a businessman. You're good, man.
Yeah, but I ain't having no one try a thing, man.
So you survived gang life, prison, and being stabbed, but survival is different to success. Would you say that you are now winning at life?
110%. Yeah.
And if you could go back to a younger version of yourself, what would you advise him?
Do you know, I get hit with this question all the time. Obviously, stay off the streets and that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I never made bad mistakes, you know. Like,
Yeah.
You see, like once I started working and that, I can't sit back and think, I wasted 10 grand in the clubs over 2 years. That weren't me. So my advice is don't waste 10 grand in the clubs.
Yeah.
Save your money. Don't be a sheep. Don't buy into all of this luxury lifestyle and that you ain't even worked hard for. Like, yeah, I'm not saying if you want to buy your little one Moncler every year, that's cool. But going and taking your hard-earned money and blowing it on Moncler, that's silliness.
Yeah.
You want to get this bust down, kettle, pots and pans, iron watch and that. For what? To stunt around people that have got a broke mindset that are going to want to peel you for your thing.
Yeah.
So, you need to just work hard and save your money and put it into the right things.
So would you say like being flashy and all these things, it's not really worth it? It's not really investable either, innit? Like you want someone that's a bit...
The only people that are going to be impressed by that is people that have a broke mindset.
Yeah.
Really and truly. Obviously, there are rich people who are flashy, but they've worked for it.
Yeah.
Most of the people who are trying to be flashy and that you're doing it in the ends. You're trying to stunt on broke people.
Yeah.
It just don't make no sense to me, man.
You literally hit the nail on the head.
There's a thing called Congo dandies. I don't know if you've heard of it.
No.
So in Congo, there's these people like, they just dress to the nines.
Oh yeah.
Suit, and they're wild. Like, they'll wear like pink suits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That is a real thing, you know. It's not, don't just exist in Congo. There's Congo dandies everywhere. In Edmonton, America, wherever. There's people who are living in squalor, living in some crazy environments and that are still trying to look like they're rich. Nah, don't try and look like you're rich in the ends. Be rich in a prosperous, wealthy area.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to look rich in the ends for? It don't make no sense.
No, it don't make no sense. And
you're just going to become a target as well.
Yeah, and that's literally what happens, isn't it? People become targets, things happen, and it's a sad story.
Yeah.
I feel like wearing chains and gold watches and showing off and this and that, I feel like somewhere down the line it comes from our history. Would you agree?
I don't know. I think, do you know what, yeah? People that look like us, we are more susceptible to wanting to look a certain way. I did see a video about it, but it's very vague in my mind. But you don't want to be going into environments and stunting on people. For example, when I used to get my hair cut by a barber, he said he's Jamaican, but kind of spent a long time growing up over here from like a teenager to a big man. And he said to me, yeah, when you go to certain clubs and that, you don't go to the toilet on your own. I said, why? He said, because that's where all the robberies take place. I said, what? And I was thinking to myself, if you go to a club where you could get robbed for your chain, you're going to the wrong club. or watch. Yeah. You shouldn't stand out really and truly with your Rolex or your chain. So therefore, you're in the wrong places. If you want to wear a Rolex watch that's worth 20, 30, 40 grand in that, go to a place where other people can afford that so that they don't target you because you stand out. They don't appeal you. Go to a place where it's guest list or VIP list or whatever in that.
So, match the environment.
Yeah. That's like driving a Ferrari around on the ends. And
You're gonna
park it
stand
in
out.
a parking bay. If you got a Ferrari, you should be on a drive behind an iron gate.
yeah. No, 100. That makes sense.
I go to these people's houses,
Yeah.
and a couple of them show me, I got these Dior trainers and that. Big man, you're living in a rented council house, man. Think about trying to buy your own place instead of these silly little trainers.
And Dior don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You seem to have like taken a lot of accountability, would it be fair to say, in terms of like you was on the roads, you accepted the life that you chose, and now you've kind of like turned it on a 360. So I'll say that's accepting accountability.
Yeah, everything in life is your fault. Yeah? So the position that you're in right now is because you've either made good decisions or bad decisions.
Yeah.
So rich people don't wake up rich one day and like, oh, how did this happen? You're a gym man, you didn't wake up like that. You had to put in hours, days, years to get to where you got to and that. It's the same thing with people who are in a bad financial position. Now, some people can make that one wrong move and lose everything in that. But for the most part, if you check people's timeline, they've made bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. And unfortunately, you know, if you look like me, they might put it down to their skin color, or other people put it down to their class. Yeah. I'm unlucky. You're not unlucky. You've made bad decisions. You don't realize it.
Yeah.
So everything is your fault.
Yeah. I mean, I used to think everything was everyone else's fault, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I was there. I can't sit here and lie, do you know what I mean? I'll be sitting in jail. I'm blaming the judge. I'm blaming the prosecution. I'm blaming the jury. I'm blaming the prison officers. I'm blaming the police. I'm blaming the whole world. Why am I in prison? Do you know what I'm saying?
I've heard man say, because he looked like me, he got X amount, but then his Cody who didn't look like me, he got less because of his skin color. I'm like, hold on a minute, wait. You might have had a worse conviction list than that guy. Yeah. Maybe because he had kids and you don't have kids. Yeah. Stop looking for Yeah.
How did you get into like content creating? Because obviously you're from the roads, you're into property. Yeah. What made you actually start picking up your phone and posting on TikTok, talking on TikTok? Yeah,
so obviously it started with YouTube in 2000 and I think end of 18, I believe. Yeah. Maybe 19. Yeah. And I basically just got sick of watching videos where people were talking about, it's harder for black youths. Black youths get harassed by the police. Because I was actually one of them. When I was on the street, I got stopped and searched all the time. 100. The police, they knew my name, everything. Yeah. And then as soon as I got off the roads and got on the right path, all the stop and searches stopped. Like day and night, literally. So I just started making videos talking about that stuff. And I'm like, yo, once you get focused and you get on the right path, your life is cool. Yeah. I remember there was once not PS, what do they call them? Not police officers, community support. Yeah. They used to hang around at Edmonton Green bus garage just to make sure the kids behave themselves. Yeah. And he was based in Edmonton. Right? So he knew my name. And one time, years later, when I was working for Holmes Harringay around Green Lanes near Turnpike Lane, I see him. I'm like, I don't know, I just clocked him. Like, he's in proper police uniform, so now he graduated, he's a proper police officer. So I'm like, I know you, I remember you. He's like, Jelani Knight. He shook my hand, you remember my full name. Yeah, so I don't interact with these people. I stopped interacting with them because I got on the right path. Yeah. And anyone can do it. Yeah. You're not cursed. There's no generational curse or nothing like that. Anyone can get on the right path. You just have to make that right decision, man. You're a creator to obviously support and educate young black people and empower them as well, basically. Yeah. And the thing is, in this world, you don't need to be talented. You just need to be able to put in the hard work and show up every single day. I'm a good electrician. I'm good at electrical testing. But in my company, there's like another guy, I'll say, he's probably better than me. He's a little bit older than me, so he's probably got a bit more experience in that. I'll say, he's probably better than me technically. But you know what? I guarantee you I'm richer than him. I guarantee I've got a bigger portfolio than him. You know why? Because I turn up to work every single day. I have to be half dead not to go into work. When he does 4 jobs, I do 5. When he works 5 days a week, I work 6. So that's why. Because he's more talented than me, probably technically. I work harder than him. The hunger is more. Yeah. They would have to probably drag him into work on a Saturday. I'm phoning my manager, where's the Saturday work? Because on Friday, I need it. Because obviously he's not in on Saturday. So if there's something wrong with the jobs or I don't get the jobs, I can't call him to get Saturday work. But on Friday now, I'm like, yo, where's the work? Yeah. Determination. Yeah.
Which takes us on to your book. You've written a book, which just shows your hard working. You're 32 years old. You own properties, 5 properties, and now you've written a book. What's the title of the book?
Conquering Adversity by Jelani Knight.
Conquering Adversity. What made you go into the book writing world?
Do you know what? Funny enough, years ago, you know the program Apprentice?
Yeah.
I wanted to go on. I actually applied.
Yeah.
Didn't get in though.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to write a book because I know I have a story to be told and it can inspire a lot of young people.
Yeah.
So, I just decided to write a book. It took me a little while, but I completed it during lockdown because I wasn't working. So I had enough free time. And obviously the main thing about the Conquering Adversity was getting knocked back in Taekwondo, not being able to grade, seeing the younger kids come up and they're on the same level as me.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, doing the streets and that and getting on the right path.
What message do you hope that readers take away from it?
Doesn't matter your beginnings. You can come from humble beginnings. You can come from a poor family. Bad things can happen to you and you can overcome those bad things. Bad things have happened to me. Read my book. Some people, you know, if they got attacked and stabbed and that would be the end for them. You just gotta get over it, man.
Many people who has faced adversity also suffer with self-doubt. What would you say to those people who doubt themselves all the time because of their past? I
mean, I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
Like, how can you doubt yourself? Like, it's kind of hard. I don't understand how people can doubt themselves. Like, I don't know, maybe I just have this ego and I think I'm better than what I really am and that, which is not the case. But I just believe I can do anything within reason, my mind to it. Because I'm willing to work hard and that. So you should never doubt yourself. If you can't see anyone that looks like you that's done it before, be the first. And if someone else that looks like you or comes from the same sort of position as you, if they've done it, you can.
Yeah.
They're no more special than you.
Yeah.
All these rich millionaires and that, a lot of them come from humble beginnings.
Yeah.
And they're not super intelligent.
Yeah.
You don't have to be that smart. You just need to be willing to work hard and turn up every day.
I agree with you because I feel like a lot of young people who are growing up, their doubt limits them, you know, because they doubt so much and, but my man's doing this, so I can't do better than him. I have to do the same thing. I can't walk away because if I walk away, this and that, like there's just so much doubt in young people's mind right now. They're totally limiting themselves for greatness.
I think it's just an excuse as well, you know. It's easier to fail, you know.
Yeah.
Easier to fail. You don't have to do nothing. It's harder to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is why a lot of, well, I was going to say young people, there's grown men still playing video games. The reason why they're playing video games is because, especially men, but women as well, we have an intrinsic value to want to build and get better at things. So they're doing it the cheap, easy way. Yeah. Because in the virtual world, in the video game, once you die or you lose, you just reset and start again. In real life, you may get embarrassed, you may lose money, you may become homeless because of bad decisions and that. In a video game, you can just press the reset button. You need to be building up and improving yourself in the real world because it's just like cheap gratification. I went to a tenant's house. This guy's like 65. Yeah. And I thought he was like his nephew or whatever. He had, you know, the racing car. Yeah. He had that in his living room. Yeah. Now, there's nothing wrong with him. He's a normal man, And I thought to myself, this guy, if only he just put in the hard work when he was a young man, he wouldn't need to be playing Gran Turismo or wherever he's playing and driving a Ferrari in the virtual world. He could drive the Ferrari in the real world if he put in the work. Because there's some guy that looks just like him, that's living that reality. Yeah,
100%.
So, and who's come from humble beginnings as
100%.
Well. So, people like, they just want to, a lot of people are distracting themselves. There's a guy that lives at the back of my old property. This guy, every other day, he'll be working on this Sirocco, the Volkswagen. He's fixing it, he's building it, putting up stickers and LED lights, amplifier, subwoofer and that. He's building nothing, but he's building. This guy's 45 years old, still living in a council house. He should have put that effort and that work into something else. That energy
into something else. Yeah. Do you think the government wants people like you to win?
It don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they want. Unless you physically put me in prison, then I'm going to lose. I mean, I don't want to get into some conspiracy theories and that where, you know, they want people like me to lose and stuff, but it don't matter. On no mortgage application will they ever ask you for your skin color. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Anyone can make it. So yeah, some people might find it more challenging in certain fields because of the color of their skin, allegedly. I'm just going to say that to play devil's advocate and that. But in the property game, you can make it. You can start your own business as well. It's just an excuse, man. The colour thing, maybe back in the 60s when my Jamaicans came over, it was hard. Yeah. No blacks, no Irish, no dogs, no pubs. It's not like that now. It's easy.
I do agree with you. Like now, 2025, whatever happened back in the day happened, and now there's a lot more opportunities for people, no matter of your skin colour, to actually make something of themselves. There's
more millionaires who are black today than there was ever before. Just obviously because of social media and that. But now there's opportunities. Before, back in the day, it was a lot harder for anyone to become rich or whatever, because there's only a certain amount of people that can be Denzel Washington or this footballer or this boxer and that. Now, everyone can at least join and you know, get involved in that. You know, you can enter the arena. There's a lot more competition because there's a lot more people doing this. But at least you can actually enter the arena to battle and compete.
Obviously, success stories are great. You know, everyone loves a success story. But what is one thing that people don't know about you that you actually find hard and you struggle with, if any?
I got a bit of a temper.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, for me, this is quite funny coming from me. I'd rather just use my fist and actually talk to people, you know, because I find people don't listen. People don't, they don't listen. So yeah, that's one thing. I want to say I struggle with it, but yeah, that's a flaw on my part. Yeah.
And how do you deal with it then? Or how do you try to? You looked at me like, I don't deal with that.
Obviously, of lately, I've been thinking about things more like, yo, because the way I behave and that, you would never know this guy's got 5 properties and just think I ain't got nothing to lose. And so I have to think to myself, yo, you got 5 properties. You know, if you touch prison and that, who's going to manage your properties? So I have to think before, you know, but I'm a very like confrontational person. Just the immediate people that live around me, they know what I'm like, so.
But let's say that you lose everything. You lose your properties, you lose what you've built up, you lose your money, you're back to zero today. What is your process? How are you going to get back to where you was if you want to?
So this is why young people should get themselves at least a trade or an education, because you can take my properties, you can take my money, you can even throw me in jail, God forbid, for 2 years. I'm still an electrician. So when I come out, or let's say they've taken everything, I can still go and do electrical work because I have a skill. If you're educated to whatever high degree, let's say you're a doctor, no one can take that away from you unless you do some mad crime where you're banned from being a doctor. That's different. So yeah, I could still get it back, and to be honest, I would probably get it back faster. The length of time it took me to get 5 properties, I'll do that quicker. Because I know, because you can't take my mind away from me. You can take materialistic things from me. You can take my clothes and that. You can take my money. You can take my properties. But you can't take my mind and my skill from me.
I'm glad you said that, because skill is very important. Like I've been in a jail basically all my life, whatever.
Oh, I swear.
And it was a turning point for me at 28. When I came out of prison, and I realised that I've got no skill, I've got nothing to my name, I've got nothing. All I know is just how to shot, how to move. Give me a pack, I'll get rid of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I realised that wasn't something that I can use long term, especially once you have a criminal record, as long or short or whatever. You're a target, you know. Police see if shot in, they're pulling man over. So I actually got a lorry license. So that's my skill. I got a class 1 HGV lorry license. No matter what happens to me now, take away everything I've got, take away all of this, take away what I'm building. If I had to restart, I know, you know, I could just hop in a lorry.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, you know, having a criminal record is the be and end all. Like, I've heard people say, you would get a criminal record from that. Now, I haven't enlightened them and say, I've actually got a criminal record. So we're just talking about, it could be a random person, imagine getting a criminal record, or now my son's got a criminal record.
It's not the end of the day.
No. Now, unless you've got a criminal record for some mad crime and you're some sort of offenders list, then yeah, that's different. But, you know, even if you've got some bad charges and that, like violence and that, you could get a lot of jobs, you know. Yeah, I've got a lot of like assault charges and that, and I can work my job. Now, obviously, if you got certain charges, you can't do my job. You know, if you're convicted of fraud, you ain't working in no bank. You ain't working in the finance sector. I remember my girlfriend was saying that they want you to do like you have to pass a credit check because they don't want no one giving out financial advice that's got a bad credit score. Yeah. So you're right. Yeah. You need to give out financial advice because obviously right now there is some accountant or financial advisor that has a mad credit score.
Yeah.
It's like a doctor that smokes 24/7, and I've actually met one before. You know.
Smokes weed?
No, just cigarette.
Okay.
The whole house, flat, stank of cigarette.
Yeah.
One guy that lived up in Chadwell Heath, and this guy's a doctor, you know. No health consciousness.
So you would even let him do a check on you?
Yeah. But yeah, the criminal record's not the be all and end all.
And that's it. I think that's key. Like we'll round it up. But one thing I'll say is that most people, if you do have a criminal record, look at Jay Wise. He's from the roads. He started this stuff from young. He's been stabbed. He's been involved in gangs, like back and forth stuff. And now he owns 5 properties. Like, your past doesn't define you, you know. You make your own path. I've realised that at a later date in my life, but I am here today. Like, do you know what I'm saying? We create our own paths. And tell the audience about where can they find your book.
So the book's called Conquering Adversity by Jelani Knight. So it's basically an autobiography. I wrote it myself. You don't even need to type in Conquering Adversity. You could just type in Jelani Knight on eBay or Amazon. But similarly, eBay and Amazon, Conquering Adversity, and the book's there.
Yeah.
So on eBay it's the hardback version, and on Amazon it's the ebook.
Ebook.
Yeah, ebook.
Did you find it hard to like publish a book when you wrote it?
No. So what happened was, before lockdown I started writing this book.
Yeah.
And thank God for lockdown, because I would never have completed it. Obviously, I wasn't working during lockdown, so anyway, I used that time to write the book. So I wrote the book, then I read it myself.
Yeah.
Then I sent it off to an editor.
Yeah.
I used Fiverr, the website.
Yeah, I've heard of Fiverr, yeah.
Yeah. So this guy from Pakistan, he was editing the book.
Yeah.
So we had a bit of a dispute, He was trying to tell me that the word mum is spelled M-O-M. Yeah, that's in American English.
Yeah.
Because I asked him, why have you changed the word mum into M-O-M, like from M-U-M to M-O-N? He's like, that's how you spell it. I'm like, that's English, that's American English. I speak British English. My audience can be British English. So anyway, he didn't want to go back
and change it.
And change it. No, obviously I had to push him though, but he was trying to argue. I'm like, listen, you best change it, you ain't getting paid.
Yeah.
So anyway, he changed it, and obviously, he just edited a few things, made it look a bit better, but some things he made worse.
Yeah.
I was seeing mistakes. Like, how does a proofreader make mistakes?
Yeah.
You're supposed to proofread it and edit it.
Yeah.
You're supposed to reread it and then edit it again if you need to. So once I got the book back from him, I read it again and found he made some mistakes, so I had to edit that. And then once I finished that, I reread it, and then I got it published. I just went onto the internet, found a publisher, and they said, right, what you need to do is you need to format it into like a PDF mode so that it can fit on like a small book.
Yeah.
I think they call it like a A5 book or something
like
that. And sent it to them, and then they just published it and that. Obviously, because I've got a YouTube channel, I don't need no publishers. I don't need to...
You've got the platform.
Yeah. So... that's the whole reason why I kind of started a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to write a book and I needed a way to publish it.
Yeah, that's good though. It's a good way of marketing.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's got a business, doesn't matter what it is, you should create a social media account. That's free advertising. TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. You can do YouTube as well, but TikTok and Instagram, they're better for like short videos and that. Yeah. And let's say you're, buying and selling cars. Do that. Or if you got an electrical business, do that. Yeah. Or accounting firm, do that. Yeah. Vlog it. Make videos about it because it's free advertising. Stop consuming content and produce. Yeah.
No, thank you for coming on, bro, today. I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you. Yeah. And now that we're actually connected, when it's my turn to start investing in property, I'll definitely be contacting you.
Yeah, give me a shout. Anyone can shout me for free advice.
Yeah.
I get back to people on Instagram all the time, so it's better for them to contact me on Instagram because I can send voice notes rather than TikTok. I want to sit there. Type. But yeah, I give out free advice all day long.
And what is your social media handles for those so they can contact you?
So JY's TV for everything, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I post on X every now and then with some of my thoughts on that. But yeah, mostly TikTok and YouTube, sometimes Instagram.
Okay, thank you. This conversation has been nothing short of extraordinary. Jay Wise's journey stands as a testament to the power of personal accountability, resilience, and the unshakable belief that one's past does not define his future. From the depths of adversity to the heights of entrepreneurial success, he has shown us that true transformation is possible when we take full ownership of our lives. His story is not just inspiring, they call for action for anyone who feels trapped by their circumstances. If this episode has resonated with you, I encourage you to explore Jay Wise's book, Conquering Adversity, where he dives deeper into the principles that led him to his transformation. Be sure to follow his journey, take notes, and apply these lessons to your own path. And as always, if you found value in this conversation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Glo Talks. Our mission is to bring you powerful narratives that educate, inspire, and empower. Until next time, train the body, train the mind.